Hi, I'm Karl Perazzo, and today we're going to talk about percussion instruments. As you can see, I'm surrounded by these beautiful instruments, and I want to talk to you about what they are and what they do. First, we're going to talk about congas. The conga can be found throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. The conga come in three sizes, the high drum being the quinto, the middle drum being the conga, and the low drum being the tumba. The conga drum is more than rhythm. It's the heartbeat of all genres of music. You can find these drums in jazz, pop, Latin, funk, Latin rock, and soul all the way back to Motown. If you're a first-time buyer, keep in mind that there's generally two types of congas. There's the wooden conga, which is a darker sound, and then there's the fiberglass, which is a brighter sound. You can get a little bit more volume depending on the type of music that you play. Today, I'm playing on the Karl Perazzo fiberglass top tuning congas. I'd like to give you a short demonstration on how many sounds you can get out of the conga. The hand position will change the tone immensely. Open tones. Open slaps. The muffle tone. The bass tone. And don't forget the dry slap. And when you feel a little spunky, don't forget the old two-shoe. Let's talk about patterns. Another one of my favorite rhythms is the wawanko, which I love to play. Here are some other conga grooves and rhythms that you might know. And don't forget this one. Next, we're going to talk about bongos. Bongos are found in many genres of music. As you can see, there's a high drum and a low drum. Bongos come in two different materials, fiberglass with a brighter sound and wood with a slightly darker sound. Today, I'm using the Karl Perazzo fiberglass bongos. Normally what I look for in bongos is a bright and rich sound. If you really want that sound, you should go with a higher end bongo. There's a lot of bongos out there, from the beginner to the professionals. If you're looking for a top pro model, you're gonna find that the bongo is a little bit more thicker and a little bit more meatier so your sound can project. Let me give you some pro advice on the approach of just holding the bongos between your legs. You want them to set comfortably right in the bend of your knees, and you want the hook to fit in that little gap there. You want to sit up straight, and that's on all the instruments, whether it's congas or just the bongos. You want to sit up straight and have a good posture to your instrument, and your sound will come naturally. If you find that it's uncomfortable to put between your legs, you can also get a sitting bongo stand, which I personally use as well. You get them in small size, and we have them in the large size for standing. Let's talk about basic patterns of the bongos, but I want to touch on the sounds. You got your high drum, which is called the macho, and you got the low drum, which is called the hembra, which means female. You can use finger techniques or hand technique. Okay, let's try with the fingers. There's the open slap. And you have muffle tones that are incorporated in the pattern of the bongos. The pattern is called the martillo or martillo, which means hammer in Spanish. And the pattern goes like this. One and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one. Now we're going to talk about embellishing through the basic pattern of the bongos. you're creating movement and sounds that come out of the martillo. And let me demonstrate that right now. When you play the bongos, you can take them out of the box. It doesn't have to be really traditional. You can play an open format. So using the martillo as your basic rhythm pattern, you don't have to make it tight. You can open it, and I'll demonstrate that right now. The whole point in this is to have fun. Next, we're going to talk about timbales. The timbales actually came from the kettle drum, the timpani drum, all the way from the European danza, French chamber music. And now you can find them in all genres of music. Normally you find them in Afro-Cuban, Puerto Rican, Venezuelan, Colombian music. All the funk bands have them. So this is an instrument and it's a class by itself. What I look for in a set of timbales is sound, vibration, and resonance. All drums are going to sound different. They all come in a metal casing. Some have top tuning, like mine, and some have traditional tuning, which is on the sides. The timbales come in two sizes, normally 14 and a 15. The higher drum is the 14 and the lower drum is the 15. You can tune them really high or you can tune them really low. And today, I'm playing on the LP Karl Perazzo Sugar Skull Signature Series timbales with top tuning. Let's talk about basic tones for the timbales. There are 6 basic tones, and once you get into the advanced level, you'll find more tones than you can imagine. Your first tone that you want to practice is your rim shots. Creating a higher pitched sound similar to a snare drum. And then you have your center notes. And then a combination of them both. You also have the dent sound. You can also use your elbow. These drums will go a long way. There's one important thing about the timbales, and that's the sides, known as the cáscara or cáscara in Spanish, which is shell. Let's talk about some real basic patterns and what you can do with just the drums itself. Let's play the shell or the cáscara in a 3-2 pattern. We can add the left hand and play all the ghost notes in between what I just played on my right. Let me demonstrate one rhythm called danzón that you can play on the skins. Note that there's a lot of variations. This is the most commercial way this rhythm is played. If you want variations, it will sound something like this. As you can see, we accessorize the timbales using a red jam block, cha-cha bell, and a mambo bell. This will give you the ability to play all genres of music. Keep in mind that you can accessorize your timbales any way you want. Now, let me incorporate all this together with a little Latin flavor. Next, I'd like to talk about the cajon. The cajon, which means box. The cajon comes from Peru. In Peru, you'll find the cajon is tacked. In some other countries, you'll find wire inside, and some other countries you'll find string. They all have that buzz, and some have a longer duration, some are shorter. Some of the things that you can look for on the cajon is whether or not the bass tone is deeper. Some cajons have a real nice, deep sound. Some have a less deep sound, but they have more buzz on the top, and maybe that's something that you might be looking for. Let's go over a couple of the striking techniques that you'll need to produce the sound for this cajon. The high corner position, the mid position, full hand, and then your bass sound. The cajon has revolutionized itself in terms of playing traditional folkloric music, whether it's in Peru, flamenco style, or to the Djembes in Cuba. Now they're using it in all genres of music. You can find the rhythm like in Peru, you'll find something like this. In Cuba, you might find something like this. You can also use it as a drum set and create your own world. And if you feel a little extra spicy, you can use your feet to change the tone. Next, we're talking about the djembe. The djembe comes from Africa. You can find it all over. Nigeria, West Indies, Senegal. This drum is used in form of talking and has vocabulary of its own. This drum, you can actually even bring it to popular music. With the djembe, there's many different varieties out there. There's companies that make djembes with synthetic heads and companies that make it with the goat head. The synthetic head has a wide range, bass tones, open tones, and maybe some overtones on the ringy side. And the ones with the goat head have bass tone, rich in sound, open tones, open slaps, not so ringy, more compact sound. If you find yourself with a djembe with a synthetic head, you'll be able to play in all the climates without it detuning or getting higher. Today, I'm playing the LP Aspire djembe with tuning lugs. You'll also find some that are strung or pegged. It's entirely up to you. Your basic sounds on the djembe is the open tone, the open slap, and the bass tone. The djembe itself is also an instrument that's very diverse. You can use it in many different types of rhythms, almost like a drum set. djembe traditionally is played standing up with a strap. You can sit down and play this drum. You can leave it on the floor or hike it up on the feet like myself to get different tones and different variety of sounds. Next, let's talk about handheld percussion. Let's start with the Güiro. Today I'm playing the LP plastic Güiro with the striker. You can also find this instrument in its traditional form, which is the gourd. Let me demonstrate a basic rhythm. You can hear this rhythm in cha-cha, huaracha, in pop music, and sometimes you can hear it in funk music. Next, we're going to talk about the claves. 2 wooden sticks. Today I'm playing the LP wood claves. The pattern is simple. Goes something like this. You can find this instrument in a variety of woods, all the way to synthetics. The claves can also be used as a color instrument, making small sounds and effects, doubling the snare drum on pop music or funk. You could play like Next, let's talk about the LP jam block, which comes in an array of colors and sizes. This is the medium one of my favorites. This jam block traditionally is a mounted jam block, which you can play handheld, but you can mount this on your drums. You can mount it on your timbales, you can mount it on a single stand and play it with your congas, or you could do anything you want. Next, let's talk about the tambourine. This is a traditional mounted tambourine that you could put on your timbales, on your percussion table, on your drum set. You can use this in a variety of different styles, but I also use it as a handheld when I record in the studio. Let me demonstrate a little pop or a little funk groove for you right now. This tambourine can also be used as an effect and as colors. So if you're going in or out of a section and you want to enhance it, you could do one of these. Next, we're going to talk about the LP twist shaker. This instrument is a wonderful instrument, can be used in a bunch of genres of music. Let me demonstrate how you can use this instrument. This instrument can also be used as an effect instrument, as a color instrument. You can do sounds like this. Or maybe something like this. But with this twist shaker, we've designed it to where you can expand your horizons. You can actually use them as a real soft maraca. Next, let's talk about cowbells. Cowbells come in a variety of different sizes. This is the Black Beauty Cha-Cha Bell. Cha-Cha Bell was named after the rhythm cha-cha-cha. And here's a little demonstration of what you could do with this bell. Keep in mind that there's so much more to explore with these beautiful instruments and the world of percussion. If you have any questions, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.